It's the only way to be sure.
Fucking A.
This is the greatest reincarnation of James Cameron's Hive that he put into the Aliens film. This is better than Alien Isolation because that pointed more towards Alien 1 as a sort of canon sequel. This is the promised land for me. I've played this game for nearly 40 hours on my own to try and get to the back end of it, because it's only now that it's starting to show me some of this amazing level design. The name of the whole mission itself ties in with a lot of the Aliens lore. It's incredible, and it's so good to finally get to. Annotation in the top corner, because I was equally impressed with the Prometheus ship, which is the previous level. It's almost like being on the set of the film.
We have lost contact with Blue Team.
A lot of this footage is going to be chronological, and this is me sort of coming up to the danger area. If you can remember the disaster that was Colonial Marines, they kind of had a similar setup where you went through a glass tunnel to get over to an infected ship or something, then it all just started cracking and Marines were floating around everywhere. This is handled a lot better.
They're all around us, man. Jesus.
These eggs here clearly didn't spot them, and I back into them. It was crazy good, and I had to be rescued by a teammate. I love the way the huggers jump up. They're quite well animated. As I mentioned on the Prometheus video, I am not left alone to get this footage in peace. You are inundated with enemy spawns.
Maybe they don't show up on infrared at all.
So the level is kind of split into 3 sections, and the first section only has the Hive towards the end. The second 2, you're right in there knee deep. And by the way, this video may have to be a 2-parter because I haven't finished the 3 levels yet. There's still more for me. But my point being, they've integrated the Hive with the industrial look of the complex very well. That was one of the best things that Cameron did with that Hadley's Hope set, was just intertwine all of that machinery in with the organic look of the Hive itself. They've also got like ducts and tunnels put around everywhere. You're constantly crapping yourself that something's going to come flying out of one of these. And I will say that the poor AI really does not cope very well with me aimlessly wandering and not helping anybody out.
Talk to me.
Before getting to the main Hive structure, you get gifted a brilliant scene with some sentry guns. It happens twice where you've got to refuel them, and they keep pumping in these warrior dudes, and they're great to deal with. QTE in the middle of the most hectic battle ever.
Get them out of there! Do it now!
Shut up.
I'm also working the parameters of the AI out quite well. They've patched them, I think. They're kind of a little bit better since that pathogen update kicked in. There is slightly more scenic footage coming up. I want to show how they're using the Hive roofs and how natural it looks with their movement, how they scurry around onto the ceiling and blend in sometimes with the background. This is where this game should be. My god, why didn't they put this as the first level? Probably because there would have been no incentive to continue playing. So I want to go on record as saying I'm having such a great time. This game smashes Colonial Marines to smithereens, and the AI and coping with everything on your own is a bit lore driven for me. I've explained that before. I'll try my best to explain it to you young'uns. 20 years ago, you wouldn't be able to have AI companions like this in a video game. They would have to be human controlled, and that wouldn't happen because you had no internet. I'm living the dream a little bit with AI as an older bloke, because I'm getting my fantasy come to fruition right in front of my eyes, where the AI is just or sometimes more efficient than myself, and that fuels this whole compartment in my brain that previously didn't exist because it couldn't, because AI coding was terrible. Okay, enough with the existential philosophy. Can we get back to shooting Xenos? Well, nearly. We can get back to looking at these interiors, and this is mid-level. This is where I suddenly started to stop and think, yes, it's happening. That mist is there. We've got that multi-layered mesh that you don't see a lot of out of the Aliens films. This Hive really is a homage to that particular movie, and it feels brilliant. There's a lot of that almost spinal look, kind of interior guts thing going on, and it looks moist. It's got that saliva everywhere, shine spots. Everything is working perfectly with the reincarnation of this Hive.
Movement. What's the position?
It's actually not a bad bit of story either. You're retracing the steps of another team that are ahead of you, and that's given the designers an opportunity to use these flares. Look at that smoke rushing past on the right. It very much reminds me of that reactor environment that we saw in Aliens when they first approach the building itself.
Can't lock in.
Talk to me, Hudson!
Multiple signals.
The halls just start getting larger and higher and more breathtaking. I'm loving the archways and the way that the distance works with those flares fluttering round some blind corner, and everything just makes you look up and realize how infested this building and whole station is. It's a great hairs on the back of the neck moment. It happens in the films, and it totally happened to me with this. I was feeling like I was going deeper into some forbidden dark forest.
Crow! Frost, off the board! Sound off!
Yep, my AI buddies plucked that one off. Look what he's got on the back of his armor. It's little details like that that just make you think, yes, I'm having a damn good time. Now this one, even the commentator, the lady, told me to get my shit together and move on because I was stuck in here for about 20 minutes. It was beautiful. I like the way the red works. I saw this on the trailer and I was a little bit dubious about it because blues are used in the film, but this gives it so much moody depth, and that reactor in there and how far down it all goes as well. It's like a massive turbine pit. So frightening because they run in through these tentacles that are coming off the main structure. This whole area was just amazing.
I said I want you to lay down a suppressing fire with the incinerators.
This whole area was a bit of a showstopper for me, and I'm halfway through exactly of the 3 chunks that make up the final campaign. So I've got a whole nother level that I've not clapped eyes on yet, which will be the final arena of this whole Hive structure. And talking of structure, this is almost identical to the stairwell that we saw at the beginning of the Hadley's Hope entrance, the tinging of the pinger, my AI crapping their pants, the water dripping down, everything is in the right place. This game is so worth looking at if you're an Aliens fan, and also if you can't be arsed to gruel through the front end, just keep your eyes on the channel because I'm going to go right through it because I need to see this pathogen update, and I can't until I've finished the campaign. It's like a catch-22. I had an unexpected ball and got my jaw dropped constantly by how much attention to detail was paid to this particular level. Please have a look at the previous video. If you like this sort of thing, you're going to get an itch scratched with being able to look round that entire ship from the Prometheus and Alien Covenant films. So I have been Couch Coop, and I will hopefully see you down there.
Clear. S, you got anything?